Pow Wow, yo yippee yay guys. Today is Pow Wow number 30. Super excited to be here. Today we're going to dig into our beautiful community. Then we're going to talk about great DeFi projects and what's going with the markets. Then we're going to talk about Aave and why did we list this amazing project and what we've been doing and building with these guys. Furthermore, down the line, we're going to talk about SwissBorg, about its roadmap, and maybe talk about the new projects we're going to list very soon. Like always, guys, my name is Cyrus Fazel. I'm the proud founder, CEO of SwissBorg, always here to serve you. As you guys have noticed, new hat, which looks really cool, and you know what to do, how to get it. First thing is get into that family picture and then be active on social media, and we'll be rewarding all these people with all this cool swag that we've especially been designing for you guys, and I hope you're going to enjoy it as much as I do. SwissBorg in the news. AMAs going in every country, in every language as well. Thank you all of these lovely ambassadors that are helping to promote SwissBorg and grow the community, whether it's in Spanish, it's in German, or if it's in Croatian, whatever language it is. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for this. This does mean a lot. Thank as well to our beautiful ambassadors such as Ivan on the tech and the Martini guy that is really pushing us and bringing a lot of people to use the Wealth app and to purchase CHSB tokens, become premium as well. And recently there's a new video as well of Hidden Gem Coin Stream talking about how great our project is. It does make a lot to do this, and really thank you so much for everyone contributing. It's really cool and it's beautifully meritocratic. Talking about meritocratic and awesome people, Michal, one of our amazing DAO supporters that he's been here since the day one. Thank you so much, Michal, for the hard work through the moderation squad, through social media promotion, and everything that we've been doing, advising, and bringing always this positive vibe within the network. Thank you so much for this. You definitely need to get one of those hats, so let's chat and make this happen. Talking about amazing people, here is Crypto Night. It's airing tomorrow night. Please check it out. Yael Tamar, she's gonna be talking about a lot of cool things about security tokens, real estate, tokenization, DeFi, the perspective of how it's driven through Israel as well. This is a great person that's been in the tech space for so long time. We're going to have a lot of action there and we're going to have a great time. So check it out tomorrow night, always at 9 o'clock Geneva time. I don't want to be a downer, but there's some things going, a little bit awkward right now in Nursery. And, I'm not the only one saying it. I think so a lot of people have been saying it, which does make sense. And Vitalik taking out the fact that, there's some crazy yield farming things that are now going on. And Larry as well talking about the fact that these are some Ponzi schemes. I do believe that that is true. There's some projects that are taking, like every crazy new thing that happens in crypto, it inflates a bit too much. There's some bubbles that come and some bubbles that burst, and we're going to see a lot of those. And right now in the DeFi space, especially in the yield farming, there's a lot of things happening, and there's not so many players that have really valuable products and a valuable business model or token economics that goes with this. And, I think so. One of this one, and I don't think this is the name, to be honest. The name itself, whatever you want to call it, I think Sushi, is Sushi Swap is a cool name. Why not? I'm not against the name. But when you're starting to offer 2,000% yields and that your token is busting out a few wallets, you see that there's definitely some whales pushing the traction, and everyone wants to have 2,000% of rate, but you can't do that. It just doesn't work out. There's something flipping. Is this a new hey ho ho ho? It might be, now it's very easy to launch any of these Uniswaps or so. We saw that with Yam and people just copy pasting and creating the token, making essentially a lot of volume through Uniswap, and then they're creating something new, which could turn out something great. But I want to see these type of rate of returns. It's just that, it doesn't smell fishy. For the sake of it, I really tried to get into it and say, okay, why not? And this has brought up another issue, which essentially is that gas price, man. Now this is really a big issue. I wanted to buy for $1,000 worth of sushis, right? To get into it, right? I'm not saying I think it's a great investment in the long run, but maybe if you're a swing trader, so people that go in and out in positions, maybe you could do your 5x, 3x, whatever, and get out. So a pure optimistic call. I wanted to get into this with $1,000, and I saw that systemic gate. If you can see here, it's crazy. You see this here, $108. I mean, isn't DeFi there to, waken the world and unbanked banks? And, well, that means that if you're not going with over $10,000 on Uniswap right now and to buy these, I think so it's on 1inch actually, but through Uniswap at the end, you have to pay, over 12% for a trade that is still big enough, $1,000. Not everyone can do that. And, that's quite crazy, and it's quite unfortunate. So we're seeing, a massive surge there, I think so, of gas. We see that in CryptoKitty in 2017. We've seen that recently. There was a massive spike in July, and this spike is growing, going back over 400 again, which is not a good price for. I mean, it does bring the value Ether probably higher to some extent because it shows that there's great activity, which is great. But on the other side is that, if you start doing transactions and you want to pay like in USDC now at a store, how much, you're going to pay. If you're going to pay like a, bread, at a boulangerie, you're going to pay like 2 francs for the baguettes. And then you're going to pay like, 12 francs of transaction fee. That's not scalable. And that does question a lot again about, how Ethereum has to evolve from proof of work to proof of stake if that's happening. And if it's not, we should really think about what's going to be the next contender there, because this is not doable. We've seen this in 2017. Now we're seeing in 2009 and 20, and this is not going to grow. It's not going to be more scalable as it is. So this is a big question today to see is, what is the next protocol that could hopefully bring all this DeFi movement, and we should look at different ones. So far there's not so many great applications that are done on Tron or EOS whatsoever. There's a few of them, but I think so this is a good timing for other protocols to really show is proof of stake good or not for DeFi. So let's check into that and follow it carefully. Talking about the markets, same thing, same old thing. We're same dancing between 11,200, 12,250. We're dancing. We're not know what we're doing. However, Ether is going quite well. Are always going close to that 400 resistance there. It's hard to say what we're going to be doing in the next few weeks, but I still believe there's a lot of momentum going in, and that is good. Talking about why did we list these amazing guys, and it's so good to have them. One of the main reasons that they helped us during ICO back in 2017, and since then we've met multiple times. We block on chain. They came to visit us in Lausanne, I think so twice. We saw them recently. We are quite a big fan of Stani, big fan as well of the entire team. I think so. They're all really, really cool people that work behind. They really are aligned with the decentralized world and how essentially people could empower themselves through smart contracts. And I think so. This is one of the great reasons. I know that it's had a crazy ride since the beginning of the year. It's the best performing token probably on the long scale, and but nevertheless, we want to list them because we want to create more and more partnerships with them, and then I still believe it's a great investment opportunity for the long run, right? Because even if it spiked that much, it still has great things, and let's dig into it. Why? So, if you look at the big space right now and the DeFi, these are the big guys. They're even bigger now than Maker, right? And they've learned a lot from Maker, and you see it on their Aave 2.0 protocol that they took a lot from it, and they're making like something more robust in many different ways. And their token economics just has been released. We'll talk about it. It's very interesting as well. And this is one of the big reasons, right? How can you not have Aave in your platform when you take in consideration they're one of the biggest, right? Something that's really interesting as well is that, they're today in the 26th. They're close to $1 billion of market cap for, for a DeFi movement, which is, I think, so something really great. And we see that flip side of crypto is really appreciating a lot of their cross-chain analysis and doing how much is spreading around and how many active users there is. Nevertheless, as you guys have to know, in DeFi space, there's still big amounts of big whales. That's something you have to consider because it's just not scalable right now for many protocols. Aave is doing a lot of effort on that and reducing gas price and doing a lot of great things. But right now, it's still driven through a few amount of market players that essentially profit from this. So talking about their token economics, what I liked very much about it is that they're really trying to picture the big play. You see that on this side is that they're really trying to grow their ecosystem around their token. Very similar to what we're doing at SwissBorg. They're doing on even a decentralized matter, which I think so is really great. So they really want to make sure that you have governance rights and incentive rights, economic incentive rights to own the token or to get rewarded in the token. And that is the fundamental of how you could really work an ecosystem. It's just not like a small feature. It's really how you empower the lenders, the borrowers, the liquidity providers within that ecosystem, and then how you plug on essentially these different smart contracts, these different roles, and how do you reward them or how do you give them more incentive to be part of it. And the governance right is even higher. It's something that you not only feel confident about, it's something that really prevails on the long run because you have all those rights to do so, and that's something really great. Something that I really appreciate as well is that they're really taking as well different players within the ecosystem, and one of the best ones, Chainlink, to build all their essentially platform, right? Through consensus, through due diligence, and making sure that their code is right, not like Yam and other different guys, but as well using different APIs for, looking at, cross-chain solutions for APIs and datas that could be provided with Chainlink. Right now, all the data of pricing is coming from these guys, and this is something that we haven't seen so much in the blockchain space, which is a lot of people like, I'm doing this and that's it, and you're doing that and that's it, and they are doing exactly the different. They're like, okay, what are you doing, guys, at SwissBorg? Oh, you're doing that. Okay, you know what? On the V2, we might do something together. We're gonna do this, and that, and this is actually happening. These words are actually getting into action, and this is one of the great reason why we believe strongly that Aave has a very long-term play here in the game, and they really have. They have the skin, they have the technique. Now they have 1.9 billion, close to 2 billion. When we met them last time in March, they only had like 120 million. So they have the money, they have the skills, they have great partnerships, and they for sure have great endorsement from our side. I think so. There's other things that we really have to talk about, which is very, really cool, is their new way of the credit delegation. And I think so that is one of the trigger factors of how this has grown, because no one really thought about this. Aave, which was ETH Lend, already had a platform where people could lend and borrow, and back then you could do that with CHSB tokens, and that is something really great. Then the flash loans came in with non-collateralized debt that you could come in, and I think so when they got even a step forward there is when they got to introduce this credit delegation. So what is the credit delegation? Imagine a platform where essentially, myself, Cyrus, I could lend you some money, basically, and that person then could borrow it and have more leverage within his portfolio, do whatsoever is it. That's the big idea behind it. And technically, how does it work is that, explain here, is that imagine Karen has like $1 million of USDT. She deposits that on Aave. Then Aave essentially creates a synthetic USDT, which is called AUSDT, and sends back that $1 million of AUSDT. Then what happens on the third part is that Karen creates a CDV, sets parameters, and deposits it. Okay, so the CDV is a credit delegation vault. Okay, that she puts into this vault. Then with creating the CDV, she creates an open loan lending agreement with Chad that wants to essentially borrow that money. Chad needs to sign this agreement that all is all on the chain. And what goes from that is that Karen has to authorize Chad address with the CDV, so with the credit delegation vault, by signing that address. And then Aave Lend essentially sees on the platform that this person essentially could borrow, is valuable because essentially Karen is backing it. And in the only case is that this vault, what she has to do, Karen, is that she has to borrow less than 1 million, let's say 75% of that, so 750,000 worth of Ether, and then could essentially lend it to Chad. And by doing that, you see that a person can now validate credit risk of someone else. And this is something that's really interesting, because on the long run, what happens here is that Karen is now earning the 5% that she deposited of the 1 million USDT. Then she's paying 3% of stable rate of 750,000 ETH loan, which that's fine. But then she's earning as well 8% on ETH from Chad. So that is a great way, for example, for Karen to earn more than essentially what she was earning initially. So it's 5% on 1 million plus 5% again on 750. So compounded that together, she's not earning now only 5%, she's earning close to 9% something on 1 million collateralized. So that is something that's really interesting, and something that has probably brought the platform to essentially earn more, because is that by essentially having 1 million, you could pledge it, but now you could have 1.75 and you could earn 9% on that. So that brings more and more users that could go through that. That's good for two ways. I hope this will not grow 3, 4, 5 different ways that we're seeing, because this then creates bubble. And that's what exactly happened with CDOs in 2017 and 2007 on the real estate bubble. You really don't want to have that happen. But if that happens only on one tier, that is still manageable. And I think so with a smart contract, and the second version was going to happen very soon. This is a business case that could work on the long run. And I think so it's really good to see this. And the great news is that the Aave V2 platform, I think so, is going to be released anytime soon this year, which is really good. There's a lot of ways for encouraging even more the platform to be decentralized, with the possibility of voters to essentially be on their cold wallets. They're going to have new ways for lending and collateralizing as well debt. There's going to be new ways as well to essentially reduce gas price. So there's a lot of things that this team is brilliantly taking advantage of this space. And, I know that 3,600% is crazy, but, it's a bit like us. It's that you don't see the work that's done prior to it. You just see that explosion. And some of those, new projects come up with shit and just make, a lot of noise. Aave is very much the opposite. They already had a functioning product in 2018. And this is just a consecration of a lot of steps, of a lot of hourless, countless days of work. And this is, putting into fruit something that is really new. And, big shout out to Jordan and Stani. Great guys, both of them. And we're very happy to have you on the platform. And by the way, guys, if there's something that's missing, Kryptonite's the best channel for education. As you guys know, there was a great interview that Stani and Alex had that was during in March, so it's not too far ago. And Anthony and Alex as well did a great comparison between Aave and Compound, which is, I think, something really good. And talking about Compound, should I say it? Yeah, okay. We're going to list Compound very soon, so this is very exciting for you guys. Like that, as always, The Aave, which is very much the decentralized one. Compound is the more centralized one. We're always favoring, obviously, both. If I had to choose my heart, obviously would go with people that I know from the past. But nevertheless, I think both projects are amazing, and both projects today are growing a lot, and that's why we're very happy to have them with us. Community app growing a lot, 153,000, which is really good. A lot of French players coming out, so merci beaucoup à tous les influenceurs and everyone that's promoting the app. It's really good to have it. I have seen some screens of the V2. We're not going to communicate. There's still some back and forth and not too sure how this is going to happen, but things are looking really cool. Talking out cool stuff, talk about the numbers of the week. Super excited here to really show that we're growing the amount of users. Asset under management hasn't moved too much, given the fact that CHSB hasn't been performing too well. Same amount of volume, which is good. Number of tickets scratched, 24,000. That's a lot of referrals. Congrats for all of that. Right now, there's over 36 million CHSB tokens staked, which that's a big amount. And we have 189 pairs. I think so. This has to do a lot to how great the smart engine is. 189 pairs so far. That is something really, really cool. And that's just going to grow week by week as we'll be listing new projects and, adding hopefully more fiat currencies as well. As you guys know, it's always a great pleasure to do this. I really enjoy. If there's anything that you want, any question that haven't been answered, please comment here. I'll be able to answer the question. And if not, Twitter, always a great way to get a catch on me and anyone at SwissBorg. With that deep in my heart, guys, much love, much appreciation. Wish you a great life with all the power and all the love. Take care, guys.